aveyjess, I hope you're all well. Today I thought I would do Jensen's 10-month update. I cannot believe he's 10 months. He's actually 10 months in a couple of days, but we're going to be away on holiday when he turns 10 months, so I thought that I would get it filmed in before we go. He is just growing so quickly. I know I say this every month. I know that everyone who does monthly updates of their children or weekly or whatever they do will say this, but it's going so quickly, and in 2 months he'll be 1, which is just a little bit scary. Yes, you'll be 1, won't you? Little troublemaker. So we have lots of milestones that have been hit, lots and lots to update you on. Yeah, let's get started. I will start with sleep and feeding, his general routine, because I think that's the kind of thing that most people want to know about. That's what I tended to like Google and look up whenever I was having any feeding trouble or when he wasn't sleeping through the night. His routine is a little bit more relaxed now. In my last update we had a bit more of a stricter routine, which really helped him to sleep through the night, and it just worked really, really well. But now I think because he's kind of mastered sleeping through the night, we've become a little bit more relaxed with it. So next month I might be saying to you like, oh, it's all gone to pot, I was too relaxed, and he started waking again. But yeah, recently it's been going quite well. Okay, so Jensen has gone back to having 3 bottles a day of 7 ounces. I think in my last update he dropped quite a lot when he was poorly, and then we'd gotten back up to 6 ounces, but he was sometimes having 4 a day, I think. But anyway, at the moment it's 3 a day, his breakfast, lunch and evening bottles, and he's also having 3 meals a day, so breakfast, lunch and dinner, and he's also having lots and lots of snacks. You love your snacks, don't you? So typically he sleeps for 12 hours a night, which is really, really good. He'll normally do kind of 7 till 7, 7:30 to 7:30, 8 till 8. Sometimes he'll do like 7 till 8, which is wonderful. Yes, it is, but he rarely wakes up early. He's not an early riser. So typically he'll wake up and he'll either have his bottle first and then his breakfast, or the other way around. It just depends. If he wakes up and he's a little bit fussy and we're all kind of still having a slow morning, then he'll have his bottle. He's having 7 ounces of abdominal formula, and because of his ear infections he's been having, he has to be upright when he has them. So normally he'll kind of sit in bed with me, or I'll prop him up with some pillows and he'll feed himself. He prefers to feed himself. He prefers to be lying back, so he does kind of arch his back and try and wriggle away, and he just likes to be lying. I guess he's been so used to doing that for so many months, and now to have to sit up and do it, and obviously it's hard because it's aching his arms and he's having to like really reach up, so it's a little bit difficult, but we'll get there. Yeah, he'll either have the bottle and then maybe half an hour later he'll have breakfast, or the other way around. If we're already kind of up and if he's not too fussy, he'll go straight to having his breakfast. Breakfast is typically toast with almond butter and avocado. He'll have Weetabix, he'll have porridge with coconut milk. We do have it with normal milk, like blue top milk, but I've been trying coconut milk lately. He'll always have some fruit as well. Yeah, he loves his food. There's not really much that he doesn't like, and I always give him his sippy cup with water as well, just to help the food go down, because he gets quite constipated, which I will talk about, don't you worry. In my last update he was having 2 naps a day, whereas now he's gone down to 1 bigger nap a day, which is absolutely fine. Usually around 11 o'clock he'll go down for a nap, and that could be anything from an hour and a half to 3 hours. Yes, 3 hours is always preferable because you're so much happier when you wake up. But even if he's just had an hour, sometimes he will just have an hour and then later on he might fall asleep if we're out in the car, or you know, having his afternoon bottle. But typically he's been having 1 big nap and then he's stayed awake until bedtime. So then when he wakes up he is desperate for a bottle because it's been quite a few hours by then. So again he'll have a 7 ounce bottle of Aptamil formula, and then about half an hour later, sometimes sooner, sometimes he has the milk and he's ready for lunch straight away, he'll have his lunch. That could be toast, it could be a sandwich, it could be a wrap. It could be a pouch. We still have a lot of pouches. It might be leftovers from dinner the night before. So today for lunch he's going to have courgette, because that's what we had for dinner last night and he loved it. Yeah, just anything really. Sometimes I'll do him like a little picnicky snack plate with just bits of cheese, bits of ham, different bits of fruit, like crackers, just anything. He's also having 1 prune pouch a day to help with his constipation. Normally he has that in the morning just to kind of kickstart his digestive system, and yeah, he loves those. And then 5 o'clock is dinner time, sometimes 5:30, sometimes 6, it just kind of depends what we're doing. And if he has had a really long afternoon nap and had a late lunch, then it does tend to be more like 5:30, 6. For that he'll have, again, anything. He likes homemade chicken nuggets. I made his Annabelle caramel. It was like mashed potato, chicken and broccoli, and then you like roll it into kind of sausage shape and dip it in egg and breadcrumbs and fry them, and you love them. They're kind of like potato croquettes but with chicken and broccoli, and they were so good. He likes courgette, he likes pasta, but he really loves pouches. I always know that if he has a pouch, like a proper mealtime pouch. He'll finish it all. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's like sweet and sour chicken or bolognese or anything. And then I know that he's had it all. Whereas with solid picky food, a lot of it does end up on the floor, and I pick him up and I think he's eaten loads, but it's all kind of like down by his legs, and yeah, I'm never quite sure how much he's actually having then. So I always try and give him like a pouchy lunch and then a solid dinner, or the other way around, or I might give him a pouch and a little handful of like courgette just to feed himself. He has started having pudding as well, so he might have a yogurt or a piece of fruit, maybe an ice lolly, some jelly, some custard, something like that after his main. Not every day, because I don't want him to get used to always wanting a pudding. When I was younger, I used to always be like, right, what's for pudding, before I'd even started dinner, so I don't want him to get like that and have a sweet tooth like his mama. And again, he has a sippy cup of water for his lunch and dinner. I try to fill it up in the morning, and he never finishes a whole one in a day, but if it's nearly empty, then I'm happy. So by the end of the day, I'm like trying to give him as much water as I can. And then after dinner, it's bath time. He has a bath every other night because he just doesn't need one. Well, saying that, he is crawling around a lot, so he probably does need one every day, but just because he gets quite sensitive skin, I think every other night is fine. We use the Aveeno bath lotion, and that's really helped his skin. That's really helped, hasn't it? You're so wriggly. And after the bath, he has his Aveeno moisturiser on, put his pyjamas on, and then we all sit in bed, like me, him and Jasper. Jasper watches like cartoons or something, and I feed him his evening bottle, which is 7 ounces of Aptamil formula. So before, I was putting him in his cot and he was feeding himself his bottle. Before that, I was always feeding him and then putting him in his cot so that he was self-settling. But once he started sleeping through the night, I started giving him his bottle to feed himself, and then he would just kind of throw the bottle out of the cot and go to sleep by himself. But because of his ear infections, he can't be laying down because the milk kind of dribbles back, and I don't really know how it works, but he can't have his bottles laying down anymore. So yeah, now we have a nice snuggle time in bed. And when he finishes his bottle, I put him in his cot, in his grow bag, turn on his little musical nightlight thing, and he falls asleep by himself. Don't you? You're a good boy. He does have a dummy, so if he gets fussy, I do give him that. I am trying to wean him off it a little bit, because I know that can affect ear infections as well. You can be more likely to get ear infections if you have a dummy. And I know they're not like the most hygienic thing or anything like that, but he likes it. He likes his dummy. But it was getting to a point where he would literally have one in his mouth, and he'd see one on the floor and he'd go over and he'd like spit it out and put the new one in, or he'd have a dummy and I'd give him his bottle and he'd spit the dummy out and it would land on his shoulder, and he'd have some bottle, and then he'd take the bottle out and he'd go like this and he'd put the dummy back in, and he would just do that over and over. You got a little bit dummy mad, didn't you? So yeah, we're trying to cut back on the dummy a little bit. And then yeah, he'll sleep right through to the morning. If he does wake in the night, it's normally because his dummy's fallen out and he can't find it. But I can't remember the last time that he had a bottle or needed any kind of attention during the night, which is very good. Okay, so on to Milestones. In my last update, he was properly crawling. He's been like army crawling, where they drag themselves by their arms for quite a while now, but he'd been like properly up on all fours crawling and sitting. Those were kind of the main ones, but now he's pulling himself up to standing. He started doing it about a week ago. Now he just does it constantly. He started climbing the stairs. We've always had a stair gate at the top of the stairs, but not at the bottom, just because we hadn't needed it, but now we need to, so we're going to put one up today, because yeah, he managed to get up the 2 bottom steps, and then there's a bit of a landing, and then he was about to go up the main set of steps when I found you. And he's also climbed up the little step ladder that we've got in the kitchen. So that is now on top of the table where you can't reach it. He's really clapping now. Before he couldn't really clap properly. I think he kind of did it once and I was like, oh my God, he can clap, it's amazing. Whereas now he can properly clap. Obviously he's waving and all of that. Teeth-wise, he's still just got the bottom 2. This morning Pete said that he thought he could see a top tooth coming through, but I can't see anything. So ear infections-wise, I thought he had another one coming back a few days ago because his ear looked a bit gunky. I thought I'll wait and see, and nothing came, so that's good. And that's it really. He's such a happy boy, so happy, into everything, especially now that he's crawling properly and pulling himself up. You're a pickle, aren't you? But yeah, he's just so lovely, so happy. When you go in the mornings, he's kind of stood up in his cot smiling away, and yeah, he's just a very good boy. In terms of what we've been up to, we went on holiday this month. We went to Costa del Sol and he was really good on the plane. He'd already been on a flight to Aberdeen, so a really short one. He was fine on that, so we weren't really worried. We have got a long haul flight going to Turks and Caicos, so it'll be our first time in the Caribbean, which is very exciting. So I'm hoping he'll be okay. It's a daytime flight, not a nighttime, but he naps a lot, so fingers crossed. And that's it really. I think that's all I've got to update you guys on. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. I hope this one wasn't too distracting. Yeah, please do comment below. Let me know how your little one is getting on. Give this a big fat thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Bye!